So you're from Africa.
Yes, I was born in a Congo. I grew up in a house without electricity or running water in the
Wow.
village. In the village. So I have worked as a nurse and then I studied 6 years to become an osteopath. Here in the US, it's known as doctor in osteopathy. We were in Canada in that time. It's osteopathy. Mom couldn't afford a mango. It was so expensive
Hmm.
for us as a refugee.
Well, welcome to It's Possible podcast. Today is an amazing day again. Every day in It's Possible podcast is amazing. But today I have something amazing for you. I have with me Miki. Miki, please take a minute to introduce yourself and then we'll take the conversation from there.
Thank you, Wilkin. It is such a privilege to be here with you on the It's Possible podcast. I really like the mission of this podcast. And so, my name is Miki Sunguza, and I am a health coach. I love working with women. I'm a women's health expert, and I work with women 40 and above, helping them lose weight, get rid of hot flashes, and increase their sex drive. And mainly my role is to help women transition smoothly into premenopause and menopause. This is a subject that is very not well known in our society, yet it affects millions and millions and millions of women. And so I'm very passionate about that.
Okay, so you don't work with men.
No, I used to. I used to.
All right, that's powerful. So you help women over 40.
40 and plus. Here's why, Wilkin. We at 40, it's a special time in a woman's life. And
Mm-hmm.
we have life experience. You've probably have many women in your life, Wilkin, right now, right? Like when you think about your mother or your grandmother, like all those, aunts, cousin, and all. We
Yeah.
all get to this phase where, we don't have children to raise anymore in our homes, right? And then becomes this journey into stepping up to our greatness where now we're not serving those children anymore. Now we're turned towards, what is my purpose right now? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm still young. I still have health and, I still have dreams to accomplish. And
Okay.
so that phase is such a beautiful phase in a woman's life because we know who we are by now. Hopefully we have figured out who
Hopefully,
we
yes.
hopefully, but most of us we do. Also, we actually don't care anymore that much about what people think about us.
Mm-hmm.
What's more important is who we are, what we know, and what we want to do at this point. And so it's a very powerful phase where there's life experience inside of us. Most of us will have lived through, trials. Just life will have happened in a
Mm-hmm.
way that we are a very strong person at that point. And so it's a very interesting phase in a woman's life. And then a couple of years later, that's where the transitions start happening, where our hormones switch. Will switch into this period of our life where we're not into reproductive years anymore. We're not into this phase of like, okay, we're making babies anymore. And so
Mm-hmm.
we are not going to produce any more of the estrogen, the progesterone, which are essential to the woman's health. And so that's when those changes start to happen. And although it is natural for a woman, and I say it really with a lot of attention, it's natural for a woman to go through this phase. We
Mm-hmm.
are all going to get there. Grandma got to be grandma because it's just part of life.
Yeah.
Yet that's not normal. It's a suffering that comes with it. This is not normal, right? Like all this, the chronic pain that can be into it,
Mm-hmm.
the diseases, the all the ups and downs emotionally, it's not normal. We could
So,
have,
okay, Mickey, I'm sorry for cutting
yeah,
you off because I've heard people say, "Oh, it's just because of age. I have this back pain in
yes,
my back, and because of age, oh, I'm getting old. That's why I can't see or whatever." So you're
I
saying these things are not because of age, and they're not normal.
they're not normal. And Wilkin, this is something in our society. We put everything on the back of age.
Mm-hmm.
Yet you and I have known people that age well. Like, do you remember someone in your life that you're like, hey, like he's pretty sharp at 75,
Oh, sure. Yes. Yes.
right? We see it more and more. And then we have like those people in Japan that are making it in their 100 plus years and
Mm.
they have a fantastic life. So this age thing, I feel that it's more of a, a easy way out into the explanation here, and also kind of like a program. Like it's just easier to say, oh, let's put it on aging here. Yet, you know, I think that we can actually decide on how we're aging.
That's powerful what you just said because I'm just remembering right now some of my friends in their 40s, and every time I talk to them and say, "Man, I'm old now," or now I'm getting old, and now you just said, "Man, in your 40s, you're still young."
Yes, yes. I mean, life expectancy for us human now, and we're very blessed. I mean, most of us can make it above 80.
Mm.
So, I mean, this is like half life. If
Yeah.
you're 40, it's half life. And why should you decline when there's just so much to do?
Hmm. That's powerful. So yeah, because what I'm thinking about now, some of the people who are thinking like this, they stop dreaming.
Yes.
They
Yes.
Yeah. And one thing, well, it becomes a circle. It seems that
Yes.
I'm learning something here. Because when you stop dreaming, it really, your face looks like that. And then when you think you're old, you look old. It's
Yes.
just-
And you act like an old person, you know?
Mm.
Because your thoughts will manifest themselves not only in the outward appearance, but also in the level of energy, in what you do, in the project that
Mm.
you embrace. How many times have I heard someone says, "Oh, I'm too old to take this class," and I'll be like, "Why? Like, isn't it your brain still absorbing things?
Wow.
You can still learn at any age. We know that." And so my message is really, instead of looking at those rare people at 90s that are like, still in shape, because I see them still in shape with muscle and energy, instead of looking at them like the unicorn, maybe we
Hmm.
can shift and be like, this is actually the normal. This is the
Mm.
normal for us as human. This is the normal for us as women to just still dream, dream big, and go after our dream. Like we can still do things. So that's why I love your title. It's possible.
It's
It is
possible, yes. It's
possible.
possible to be young at 40.
Yes, it is possible. And it's incredible the journey that I have my clients go through. You were talking about dreams. I have them, we work a lot with, visualization. Of
Hmm.
course, we speak about health things that we go through. We speak about hormones, all those things. And it's so important for them to create a visual of how they want to look 10 years from now, what will they be doing, what kind of project or trip or however they see it. They have to have that vision of themselves healthy, strong, beautiful, powerful. Like it needs
Hmm.
to be there. And I've worked with some ladies where they were going blank. They were telling me, "Miki, I can't see. I can't."
Mm.
And so
Yeah,
that's, I find it interesting when you say people stop dreaming.
that's true. So, talk to me about not the name, but what you success you had with your clients. I remember I saw a video of you talking about a client that in 2 days or whatever, I don't remember exactly, that they got some great results after
Yes,
working with you.
this is, it happens often. And I think that's what my message is that your body has the inner ability to self heal.
Hmm.
We were created perfect. everything inside of their human body is there for a purpose. And our rushing lifestyle, our busy, 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 fast pace, all of that has disconnected us from really that power of tapping into that power.
Mm.
Remember when you were a kid and that you will cut yourself, right? Like with a knife or something, you'll cut yourself. Like you don't look at the wound and say, is it going to heal?
Mm.
You don't ask that question because
Yeah.
you know that it's going to heal. We know because there is self-healing power inside of us. Like the system will just come. It's not like you're commanding the cells, let's go, let's
True.
make more blood here, let's patch it up quickly, let's do that in 2 days. We're all of that is done at the unconscious level. And so I teach my clients that our subconscious, or I like to call it unconscious mind, is actually the one who is responsible for our body. Like you and I are talking right now, that's our conscious mind. Yet our
Mm-hmm.
subconscious mind, it's the one that's still doing the digestion because we're doing it right now. We are
Mm-hmm.
still running all those hormones as we're speaking. The heart is still beating. We're breathing. We're doing all those things we're not aware of. Yet it is working. And so as my client learn to tap into that power, they can bring amazing results to them quickly, like almost
Mm.
in a miraculous way, right? Like it is miraculous for them to see the change happening so quickly. Yet it's just about using the mind with the body because it's just one whole.
Mm-hmm.
We are one. And so when you think about health, it's about using the mind and the body together so that it's not two separate things. So that client specifically, I led her into a fasting journey. So I use fast as a tool
Okay.
to purge the body, to give rest to our digestive system, because as long as our body is busy digesting food, it doesn't get the time to actually go and start
Mm.
detoxing the other cells around, um, just like recuperating or recycling the proteins that's in it already. And so we work with a fasting schedule that we adapt, and this is very customized to each woman. And we adapt it to their cycle, their menstrual cycle. Because as women, we have those ups and down hormones. We're not like men, right? You, as a man, you have like your testosterone, you go, and it's very while us for women, depending on where we are in our cycle, we have those ups and downs. And when estrogen is there, you eat differently than when progesterone is there. It's just how the woman's body works. And so we have not learned it in our society. And I think that this is the major cause why women have so much, so many cancers are hormone related, so many autoimmune diseases are hormone related. Actually,
Mm.
80% of the people that have autoimmune diseases are women. You
Hmm.
know, why isn't it 50-50? You know?
Yeah.
And so that client, it's beautiful to see her journey. And, she's still going on. Um, she's doing so much better than she thought that it was possible for her. And
Hmm.
now she has the tool. My role as a coach is to empower you with the right tools so that you can go on and be independent, because this is your body. You are supposed to be, I love saying to people, I'm like, you are the CEO of your body.
Okay.
You are the CEO. Who else will take the decisions?
Yeah.
It's you.
Makes
And when
sense. Yeah.
when you go to your care provider, your doctor, and all, remember you are the CEO. You are the one who's supposed to ask the right questions. You are the one who's supposed to know your symptoms. You are the one who's supposed to carry the conversation and to go ask for extra opinions. You are
Hmm.
you are the CEO.
That's powerful. Now, you said something. You use fasting for
Yes.
healing
Yes.
because growing up, they say if you don't eat, you get sick.
I know, I know. Oh, you know what, Wilkin? This is so ingrained into us.
Yeah.
So I did a little research on, you know how we used to say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yes, I remember.
But there is no scientific proof of that.
Really.
Zero. There is zero. This came from Kellogg's marketing strategy when they came out with cornflakes.
Well, so okay. So that was just like a marketing
It was a marketing, motto.
strategy for them to get. Oh, wow.
Look how powerful it is. Like we thought that it was the truth,
Wow.
and, and it's still going on.
Wow. So they tell you breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and then they create the breakfast for you.
Yes. There's just so many things like humans eating 3 times a day it's been here for a little bit more than 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't eating before like that. You know, our system, you and I and your audience, we are descendants of hunters gatherers. That's the genetic that we have. We used to go hunting in the morning, and if it was a good day, we will catch something and we would eat. We didn't have refrigerators, we didn't have the stores, we didn't have all of that. And so there wasn't a way to store the extra food. You were feasting when you had that food, right? Yet the body has a very special way actually to store the excess, which is in
Mm.
creating that fat. So fat is there as like, your extra. It's like the extra to use because you don't know when it's the next time you're going to catch the prey. So we were used to go into a cycle of feasting and then fasting. We feast, we fast, we feast, we fast. And as incredible as it is, fasting, when you look into literature, it's in most of the religions in the world, right? I mean, our brother Muslims, the Muslim community, they fast, they have the Ramadan every year.
Mm.
The Buddhism have also fasting. Hinduism, same thing. Christians, we also have fasting. It's written everywhere in the Bible about fasting. I think that the emphasis was put a lot into the fact that it's a spiritual practice, right? It's a spiritual practice to fast. Yet what science is saying over the last the last 6 7 years, even decades, is that it's actually helping our body in an incredible way, meaning that fast help us purge, just like you will clean your house,
Mm-hmm.
you will purge. And in our society right now, we need to purge because we have too much toxins coming
Mm.
into us daily through our food. You are aware of fast food, all of that, like, and our environment and all the product that we put on us, everything that we breathe. There's just so much that at one point we have to clean. And then how do we do that?
So you say fasting, right?
Fasting. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it works incredibly. So I use fasting as a tool. I also use the awareness of each lady knowing their cycle, mastering their cycle, knowing that, oh, you know what, I'm on day 24 of my cycle, my period are coming now, progesterone is higher. This means that I have to do more self-care. I might do hiking instead of lifting weights. I
Mm-hmm.
might eat a bit more carb instead of doing keto. I might lean more into meditation, resting, so that progesterone can express herself, come up. Because when we don't do that, Wilkin, that's when those ladies get those terrible PMS. Like you've
Mm.
heard about PMS, like those teenage girl, like it's hard for the period. It's like the end of the world, a lot of bleeding, ups and down emotionally, heaviness in the legs, all of that. Those symptoms happen mostly because we didn't respect the cycle.
Mm.
We didn't live according to the cycle. Not to mention stress into it, right? When you add stress, then it throws off again the hormones. And so, as we learn to live according to our cycle, we are just better. Like we feel better, everything is smoother, and yeah, weight will just melt off as well.
Hmm. That's wow. There is a lot going on in the human body
A lot,
that
a lot.
yeah, because sometimes you may see someone and having some type of feelings or they respond in certain way. Maybe it's something going on inside of them they don't even understand.
Yes, that's exactly that. Think about yourself
Hmm.
when you're tired, right? In those days when you're tired, welcome. How
Yeah.
are your days?
Yeah, I just don't. I just want to relax. Don't come
Right?
and bother me or whatever.
I love that. That's the thing. And so we have to recognize where we are, right?
Yeah.
Like if your whole family knows, hey, Wilkin had a hard day today, he was gonna come back and he's probably want to relax. So we're not gonna throw a party at home. You see?
Yeah.
We're gonna respect where you are right now so that you can actually re-energize yourself, rest, and then tomorrow you'll be okay.
Hmm.
What happens in our society is that we don't recognize those symptoms. We're not in sync anymore, especially for the woman. Like if she's in the week before the period, it's a time to self nurture. And so it's not the time for the go, 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 for the harsh deadlines, for making decisions, for being in a stressful environment all the time. And so when she is into that setting, which is
Hmm.
which doesn't respect her hormones at that time, then it throws her off. Then she's irritated. Yes, she will be irritated. Then
Hmm.
it's easier to be short fused. Then those dark thoughts will come. Then it's harder to sleep. Now it's harder to digest. Now this is here. Now we feel overwhelmed. Now, so it becomes very a treacherous path once you're there and that you're not recognizing what is happening at a cellular level. Like we're talking, this is just nature's way of working. Like this is just how the human body works.
Hmm.
And so when we learn to work with it, life is easier. And right now, what most of us do is that we work against our body, right? We work against and not with it. So this
Hmm.
kind of like it creates a lot of conflict, which will express itself by being sick one day. Think about it. How convenient is it for someone to suddenly be sick? Because now they're sick. Now they can actually rest. They have no choice.
That's true.
It's like now you have to rest. All of this fighting has to stop. You're sick, rest.
Wow. So that's a mechanism
It
inside
is.
of the human body that.
Yeah. With the connection with the mind, as always,
So
right?
would you say that when someone is sick, they should be happy or because there is sadness that comes with that.
Yes. And all of the emotions are welcome, right? If you are sick and you're, low energy, if it implies sadness, that's okay. Just take that time to rest
Okay.
and embrace. It's like accept where you are at, accept that you are actually going to stay in bed, accept that you're not bringing the computer with you in bed,
Mm-hmm.
or that you are actually going to take time to heal and nurture that time. This is sacred time of healing. But most of the people that I've seen is that they will bring the computer in bed.
Mm.
Once the headache is gone, okay, let me catch up. Let me catch up with what is happening right now. And then, oh, the headache is again here. Oh, we're throwing up. Okay, let me push the computer back. Okay, I'm again in bed.
Wow.
And so it becomes very hard to achieve healing when we're in this kind of, mindset of not understanding how the body works and also not valuing this time of healing and resting.
Mm-hmm.
That if we could actually just give the body a little bit, it's not humongous, it's a little bit of that care, it will give us 100-fold in terms of energy,
Hmm.
clarity of the mind, what you can do after that. It gives you 100-fold.
Wow. That's a masterclass already.
Uh,
Yeah. So I
so,
believe someone would watch this video and they can go and heal themselves with everything you've just said. Why did you choose to work with women over 40?
oh, you're gonna love this. So, I work with women over 40 specifically for two reasons. There's my mom. So my mom passed suddenly 10 years, almost 10 years ago in Congo.
Mm.
And she was young. She was 66.
Oh wow, sorry to
Tell
hear that.
you to tell you a little bit about my background, so I have worked as a nurse and then I studied 6 years to become an osteopath. Here in the US, it's known as doctor in osteopathy. We were in Canada in that time, it's osteopathy. So I'm an osteopath and I've done, years of studying the human bodies and working in my own clinic over there. So I was following my mother and her numbers in that time. You receive the blood test and things were going okay, but mom had been on high blood pressure medication for more than 20 years at that time
Wow.
because when we immigrated from Congo, she was a single mother with three children, working terrible hours
Hmm.
and being under a lot of stress. So that's when she started having high blood pressure. And then, they told her that she was having a bit of, beginning of diabetes, a little bit of insulin resistant, still not on medication. And she was taking medication for her cholesterol. Now, I was following mom, giving her advice. But at that period, I didn't know about all how the hormones of the
Mm.
woman reacted to her body. Like I was very well versed into how to heal the body and help people with anything else before menopause. After that, I was just like any other healthcare giver where I didn't know. Like I thought it was just a normal process and that there was nothing to be done after
Yeah.
that. And so mom went into this. She was not overweight. She didn't have the typical signs of someone that will have a stroke. Yet she did pass from her stroke. That was really sudden. It
Wow.
stayed with me. My reaction to her passing was that I went into a emotional shock and then depression, which then catapulted me into premenopause. Mind you, I was 38,
Wow.
way too young to experience that.
Mm-hmm.
I went and asked for help. They told me, this is what is happening with you. That's it. You're there. And I was like, I'm 38. This can't be. And what can I do? So I started researching, a lot of research into knowing and figuring out on my own, testing, doing, blood tests, measuring my pH, doing all of those things to finally reverse my state. Reversed in a way that I've been almost 8 years now, symptom free, not having to deal with those weight gain because I really
Mm.
gained 15 pounds in 3 months or so.
Oh wow.
And this was me running 5 miles per day, Wilkin. I was
Hmm.
still running 5 miles per day, gaining weight, still eating the same food. My sleep was off because now I had, night sweat. I had hot flashes. Just like what you hear from like the old ladies, I had all of those symptoms happening to me at 38. And I thought I was going crazy.
Hmm.
I thought I was going crazy until I started researching and knowing what they do in in other cultures, countries. What do they do in China, Japan, Ecuador? What specifically the African culture? Because I'm from there in my own country. What kind of tea, herbs? What do they do, those ladies? Because We all go through it, you
Mm-hmm.
know, we all go through it. And so then I was able to reverse, and now I teach that, right? Now I
Mm.
teach that. Now there's more science coming out, which is so exciting because now there's
Yeah.
science to back up all that. So it's a beautiful process to see those ladies coming through. I wish I would have known that from my mom. And so that's why now I teach that, because I don't want other ladies to have their life being stopped prematurely, because of that, because of a perimenopause or menopause gone
Mm-hmm.
wild, where they didn't know what to do. So that's why I do it.
Wow. That's powerful. That's really, your story is really powerful. The, what you went through and why you decide to do what you're doing right now.
Yes.
So, wow. So you're from Africa.
Yes, I was born in a Congo. I grew up in a house without electricity or running water. In the
Wow.
village. In the village. Running barefoot.
Why do we, I don't know why when we speak about Africa, we always see people my color and short hair and all that. Like talking about Haiti. I'm from Haiti. So
Yes.
that when you talk about, as you say that, the first picture that comes to somebody's mind is that, like,
Yes.
so may I ask, what do you have other type of connection with other countries or?
Yes, I do. And so a little bit like Haiti, Congo has had a lot of immigration, right?
Okay.
Congo was colonized by the Belgium at first, and then after that there was like a huge Greek immigration. There was a huge Lebanese, Portuguese immigration as well. So there's a lot of mixes happening inside
Okay.
Congo. So my grandfather was Greek. My grandmother was Congolese. She was 100% Congolese. So my dad is a mix, and then my dad married my mom, who was a Chinese, and
Okay.
so but we all lived in Congo because my dad really believed in. My dad was a developer, and so he went into villages to dig well, to help create well, and to just help create more schools, bring education, all those things. So that's how I got to live in a rural environment, because
Mm-hmm.
because that's what my parents, that was their passion. And we will go village to village, and we will have all those amazing feasts, and then celebrating a new well that was created. And yeah, so
That's
that's
amazing. So, like me, in Haiti, we didn't have like this shower. We had to go to the river to take a bath before going to school. So, yeah, that's amazing.
it's crazy, huh? Because I had to go fetch the water at the well, right, on my bucket, on my head,
Yeah.
and bring it home so that I can wash myself. And so now my kids, my poor kids, so I have 4 kids. If they whine or complain about water, I'm like, you don't know, you don't know. I'm like, you take it for granted that water is going to be in that shower, right? It's like, that's not everywhere in the world. That's not everywhere in the world.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because somebody may be looking at you right now, seeing you're being successful, and may be thinking this is how you were born.
No,
They
not at
cannot
all.
imagine the village part of it. And I believe this is one of the things that creates certain type of discipline in you
Yes,
to do the things that you're doing right now.
yes. And the other major thing was for us when we moved to Canada, we moved as refugees, right?
Mm,
This is when you live with just your suitcase and
wow.
you don't know when you'll be back. I've actually have never been back to my town because after that it was attacked, and there was civil war, all of that. So I've never
Mm,
been back over there. I've been back to the capital of the country, but never
okay.
back. to the town where I grew up because of all the conflict that's been happening in DRC over there. So it is something very that had touched and changed me a lot to be a refugee and
Mm.
to sit down in a different environment, to have to learn fast, to adapt fast. Although I was 12, right? Um, but I remember finding it very hard. Like even the food, Wilkin, the food. Like for me, fruits here didn't taste anything.
Yeah.
Like banana was so blah. I was like,
Mhm.
this is not a banana. Or the mango were terrible for me. I was like, and not only that, at that time, mom couldn't afford a mango. It was so expensive
Mm.
for us as a refugee. And to just evolve in a different society where you're starting ground zero, right? Like my mom had to work into factory, and so we were living in poverty for a while. And her
Mhm.
whole dream for us was like, okay, you have to go to school, like go to school, go study, and do all those things. So yes, it's you don't take it for granted. I started working very early in my life. I remember at 12, I was passing those newspaper. Back in those days, that's how it was. Like you will pass newspaper on Saturday, you will collect the money. And at 14, I remember being independent with my money into going and buying all of my clothing,
Okay.
shoes, whatever I needed. I was 100% independent. Like I didn't want to put that on mom.
Wow. That's powerful. Now, here you are helping women over 40 to live a
Yeah.
healthy life. And what's interesting about what you do is that you have the science, you also have the alternative way to
Yes.
do it. Because when we know someone does the alternative way of health, we sometimes don't trust what they say, right?
Well, that's so true. I often tell people, I said, it's not a woo-woo thing here. We're not lighting up candles and scents I think it has a purpose. If one of the listeners is someone doing that, I think it has a purpose. Everybody had their own place. Um, when I work with people that comes to me, that are going through cancer, right? They will still gonna go and do their chemio if that's the path that they choose to do. My role is to support them and to work with their doctor into
Hmm.
finding, what is the right strategy here. Like most of the time when I work with someone that is going into chemio, there's like a schedule. They know when they're fasting so that before they receive the chemio, that their body is actually going into a very protective state so that
Hmm.
when chemo comes in, it will only attack the cells that are too weak or not
Hmm.
protected, which are the unhealthy cells.
Hmm.
And so um, it's great to see them not suffer from the side effects of the chemo. And then after that, once they finish their protocol and their treatment, then after that, we rebuild their health, right? Because cancer just didn't appear like that. It was built over time, right?
Hmm.
It's built over a lot of toxins in your body. And so now that you heal, let's take care of those toxins and establish the good, healthy habits that will actually make you thrive in health so that this
Hmm.
situation never happens again in your life. That, I actually think that we go through certain things because we need to learn the lessons. So while you're into it, it's okay, learn the lessons
Yeah.
so that after that you can move on with the wisdom of that, you know, so that you can actually move on with wisdom and not repeat those same mistakes later on.
Hmm.
Because if you relieve this, if you go back living the same way, it's almost a guarantee that you are still going to reproduce the same result, right? You'll
Hmm.
recreate inside of yourself the same condition that will just bring the same cancer again.
Hmm. So,
So
what are some bad decisions people take that would lead them to decline of their health?
I will tell you the number one thing that I tell people is sleep.
Mm.
We live in a society that doesn't, we sometimes think that we're sleeping too much and that we thrive on saying, oh, I should just do 5 hours per night
Yeah,
because I'm this go, 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 go person.
yeah.
Yet when we function on very little sleep, check this out, Wilkin. If someone sleeps only 5 hours per night, their immune system is decreased already,
Mm.
right? Immune system is decreased. Now the brain is lacking sleep. The brain is the CEO of the body. It sends information, it receives information, and it has a way of processing things. Now we can process as well. So now, because the brain is not functioning well, we'll say, oh, let me have this coffee, to wake me up. I'll have this
Yeah.
coffee. And so I start my day with a coffee. Now my system is like primed into action. Yet I'm covering, masking the
Mm.
symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
the signal that the body is sending to rest. I'm not listening to them. I'm not even seeing them because caffeine
Yeah.
is there. You probably know many people that run throughout their day several coffees, right?
Yeah, so you trick your body.
It tricks your body, yes.
Mm.
And then after that, it becomes very hard to know what the body needs. Then after that, we have those crash of energy. Also, let me take some sugar because it will boost me up,
Mm-hmm.
which it does. It does. Sugar will do that, but it's very temporary. It means like we're up and then we go down. We go up,
Mm-hmm.
we go down. And so, just from one single thing, which is sleep, the lack of sleep, there's a plethora of other bad decisions that are going to come just because we want to feel better. Yet,
Okay.
yet if we could just sleep, if we could just take the time to sleep, we will figure out that our brain actually will work better. We're going to work better. We're going to feel better. The hormones are going to be much, much better. Digestive system is going to be amazing. And our immune system in post-COVID era, right? This is the number one thing that COVID had made people realize is that their immune system is the first line of defense.
Yes.
It is. So we have to be very careful in our habits of, how am I really sustaining, supporting my immune system right now? Those are just like the daily questions that we should have and build the right habits of maintaining a healthy body because, like, it's so much easier for our body to stay healthy than to heal.
Mm.
It takes tremendous energy to heal, not only energy in terms of like the physical energy, but time. It will take time to heal. It will take money,
Yes.
resources to heal. And so when we invest right now, like I always tell people, your highest investment right now is your health. This one will yield you the ROI that you've been looking for.
That's powerful as you're saying that. I've never think about it like that. It seems like it takes time for somebody to get sick.
Yes,
That means you don't just wake up like this, oh, I'm sick. It seems like there is a mechanism, a process
there
until
is.
your body say, man, now,
Yes.
wow.
And so I always tell people, I said, if you don't take time to rest right now, you will pay to get healed.
Okay.
There is no shortcut into this story. Like there is no shortcut. Your body is one incredible, amazing, complex machinery. There's nothing out there in the world as complex as the human body.
This is amazing. This video right there, it has to go. I mean, people need to sit down and watch it. because it's a masterclass. This is like coming to a therapy session.
So, Logan, I do have some questions for you. How
Yeah.
can I help? Let me help you figure out what question do you have on health or where you are at.
You say issue? As of right now, I think I'm good.
Very good. So, if you are good, it's because you have specific habit that makes you stay good, right? What are the habits that you have around your health?
Well, I sleep enough.
Yes,
I
good job.
don't I don't worry about so many things. So, and everybody's right, okay? Sometimes I just don't discuss things with people if it doesn't really matter for any specific thing in my life. So if you say the sky is red and
You're
that's
like,
not going to affect my life, it's
I
red,
love
okay?
that. I love that. Oh, you have such a beautiful mindset because that is, stress is responsible for more than 90% of our all of the um, healthcare expenses.
Mm,
Stress related, chronic diseases, all of that. Stress is into it. And really, like you said, you made the conscious decision that what people say does not matter, it's not worth it to fight against
yeah.
that.
If
And
it doesn't affect my life, my family, so I really don't mind. You can think whatever you want or believe whatever you want. So,
I'm telling you, Wilkin, just for that, you're going to live longer.
amen.
Like for real, people don't realize that, but you've seen those people that will just get so upset, right? People will get so upset about little things, yet
Yeah.
they don't realize what it does inside of them. When someone is angry for like 10 minutes, their immune system is down for like 2 hours.
Wow.
Yes.
So when someone say it again, I didn't hear this
When,
well.
when someone is get mad,
Hmm.
you're mad. Like I see that on road rage. Like people are like super
Yeah.
mad when they be caught here and there. When they're that mad for like 10 minutes, their immune system goes down for the next 2 hours.
Wow.
And the opposite is true. When someone is super happy, their immune system goes up
Okay.
for a few hours.
That's amazing.
So yes, so I think you're making the best decision, Wilkin. Keep it up. That's I think it's the most, it's such a good decision, a good habit that you've given yourself because it yields results. I don't consume the news.
Yeah.
Know what is happening, but I don't consume it over and over and over because we know how negative it is, right? Let's say there's just war happening. Yes, there is war happening, but there's also 10 other good things that are happening around the
That's
world
right.
that
Yes.
we're not talking about.
Yeah. And if there is something that I can do to
Yeah,
stop it, if there is anything that I have to do, it's my responsibility. That doesn't mean if my responsibility brings something negative, I will shy away or run away from my responsibility. If this is my responsibility, so yes, let's face it.
Mother Teresa said once, she said she was invited. They asked her why isn't she walking into those anti-war movement? And she said, the day that you will create a peace war, a peace march, that's when I'm gonna come and walk.
Hmm.
Because anything that is negative, if we really want to stop that thing that is negative, we have to build the opposite of it, the positive
Oof.
of it.
Wow. This is
Like
so deep.
it's like you have to create that what is positive in order for us to move toward the positive. If we're just staying at what is negative all the time, then we're reinforcing that negative. Same thing with, and that's why I said mindset is also health, is I tell my client, I said, we're focusing so much. I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. But Wilkin, if you lose something, what do you do?
You're gonna if you lose something, you're
Yes.
gonna try to find it, get it back.
Exactly. Exactly. And so if they're looking to lose weight and they're losing weight and focusing on losing weight all the time, their mind is also going to go, let me look for it. Let me
Mm-hmm.
get it back. And so we're in this yo-yo, crazy yo-yo thing. So it's very important how we see things in our mind, how we phrase those things.
Mm.
So instead of weight loss, I teach them to say weight release. I'm releasing
Okay.
weight from my mind, from my body, from my spirit. I'm releasing this. I don't need this anymore. And I think for many other things that are happening in our society that are negative, we really have to create the positive one and focus on the positive one so that our energy goes into the
This is
positive,
deep.
right? Like even as a society, let's have our focus being into the positive one, and you will see that the war will decrease.
Yeah. So instead of fighting against, you fight for.
Yes,
You don't fight against what you don't want. You fight for what you want.
there's a saying, and I don't remember who said that, but he
Ooh,
said one of those mindsets. I don't know if I zigzag or can't remember, but he says, "What you resist persists.
persist.
What you resist." And so we are in this society a lot about, I'm going to fight for this, fight for that. Yet when you fight, not only does it blocks, the resolution of it, now it's crystallizing it even more. Now it becomes this real issue that's so
Mm.
big instead of, you know, letting go of it, being like, okay, this has happened, we let go of it. Now let us focus on the positive, that what we want to create. Instead of seeing this, we would rather see this happen.
Well,
So,
that's powerful. No, that's enough. That's enough, Mika. No, so yeah, that about almost an hour, and it seems like about 10 minutes, right?
right, I've been loving discussing with you.
So how can people reach you?
People can find me on Facebook. It's Miki slash Sunguza, which is Sunguza. I do have a website as well, which is Miki, Miki dash SU. So Miki dash Su.com. And
Okay.
and if people want, so on my Facebook, I'm actually advertising right now because next Monday I'm doing a master class on how to thrive in premenopause and beyond. And so I'll be sharing more about how the hormone works,
Okay.
body.
Powerful. So you're on Instagram too,
I am, and it's the same address I think as Facebook, right?
as
Like both
Facebook.
of them go together.
Okay. I'll have a link. So of your Instagram and your social media under the video so that people can just click on the link and reach out to you.
Yes, I would love to. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Wilkin.
Yes, you're welcome. No, thank you. That's amazing. I learned a lot today. Sleep and you fasting and the mindset. So yes, this is powerful. Do you do if an organization would like you to come and make a presentation for their people, do you have a sort of service like that?
Yes, I do. And I love doing that. Actually, I do that in churches and in schools um,
Okay.
because I just believe that it's time for us to even just think differently, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
just have a little bit more of openness so that we can actually harness, what God is already giving us.
Mm-hmm.
We can embrace that and that we can know that there's so many things that our body can do.
That's amazing. Well, Mickey, thank you very much for
You
accepting the invitation to be on the show today. So I believe this will add a lot of value to the people who watch the podcast or listen to the podcast because this is a really great information.
you're welcome. My pleasure.
Yes. So if you have a last word you want to share with the people, what would it be?
It will be you live only once. You live only once. Love today. Like love today. If your body is not at the right place, just know that you can change. Like
Hmm.
most of the things are reversible. There's so much hope.
There is hope.
Yes.
Excellent. So it's possible for you to live healthy after 40.
Yes. No matter your age, your condition, the body is incredible. The body is incredible.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you very much. And thank you for everyone who watched the video today. Hopefully that adds value to you. And thank you. It's possible.